Madhav, take it away.
Well, I'm going to play this video in its entirety. It's just a 4-second video, so we're going to first play it in its entirety, and then I'm going to go frame by frame to show you the sequence of events that transpired. So here you see this is a person who is believed to be a Congress worker, reported to be a Congress worker. He proceeds ahead and is apparently chanting slogans. That is Mr. Jayarajan, the LDF convener. He pushes them, and that individual then falls down. Let's take a closer look at this. We'll play the video again. So this is the part where he is advancing down the aisle in the cabin inside the aircraft. Now this is the time when the aircraft has already landed, as we are told. The Chief Minister had already disembarked, and he moves ahead chanting these slogans, and a little ahead he meets Mr. Jayarajan, who then stops him there. He is seen arguing with Mr. Jayarajan. There's a cut or a pause in the video, so we don't know how long that interaction was for, but when there is a person who at least appears to be wearing some kind of a security personnel's uniform, he is standing over there, Mr. Jayarajan is standing over there, and then he pushes both of them. He pushes this man ahead till he falls down, and you can see that fall also very clearly in this entire video. Towards the end of it, you can see that moment. This is when, in fact, this individual is arguing with Mr. He's pushed and he falls down. Now, the explanation given by Mr. Jayarajan is that these individuals who are protesting inside the aircraft were inebriated. They were under the influence of alcohol, and he had no other reason to do this. But the fact is that even if someone was protesting peacefully,
and that's what's most unfortunate, doing all of this, creating this kind of a ruckus while being under alcohol, under the influence of alcohol. Let me go across to BJP's Tom Vadakkan joining us on the phone line. Mr. Vadakkan, what do you make of this kind of an incident? Extremely unfortunate. These are two youth Congress leaders. Of course, upon the intervention of Mr. Jayarajan, they were pushed aside. But what do you make of this incident?
Well, I think this is a matter that needs. And especially they are under alcohol.
All right, some trouble with your line, sir. We'll try and reconnect with you, but for the moment we continue to keep up with our reporters. Vivek continues to stay on with us. Vivek, what can you tell us about these two youth Congress leaders? Do we know more about them? Was this pre-planned? Any indications that we've picked up on that?
As of understand that workers are basically from Kannur, and they are they hold some position. As of now, I understand that both these Congress workers, youth Congress workers, are holding senior positions in Kannur district. Both are from Matanur. That's what I understand. They entered the aircraft, the Indigo aircraft, saying that they had a medical emergency and they had an appointment in RCC. That's how they managed to enter the. That's the reason why they were moving to Trivandrum. But while the flight reached Trivandrum and when Chief Minister has disembarked the flight, E P Jayarajan was present at that point of time, and it's at that point that these two Congress workers raised slogans coming near E P Jayarajan, and it was at that point of time that Jayarajan had to intervene and push them down. Now, E P Jayarajan says that he could easily sense that these two Congress workers were under the influence of alcohol clearly, and that's the reason why he had to intimidate them at that point of time. No other reason was said. He said that this is something that is unacceptable. Today, LDF activists and leaders from Thiruvananthapuram are protesting here in Thiruvananthapuram. They are saying that the Congress workers are trying to intimidate and target Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan. This is something which cannot be accepted. We are yet to know the exact reason as how come these Congress workers entered the flight, and what was their real intention, whether they had to go to RCC, whether they had a medical emergency, or that they entered the flight with the sole intention to protest against Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan. They are right now being questioned by the airport police. Only after some time that you will get a clear picture as what their real intention was. But many are questioning the manner in which they have protested. The meantime, the manner in which E P Jayarajan reacted is also questionable, because that is not the way to react, especially when someone raises protest. You can talk to them, you can try to pacify them, but pushing them is something which is something that is not
absolutely
accepted.
And in the recent past we've seen both the Congress and the BJP take to streets to protest against the latest allegations made by Suresh Madhav. But You know, that aside, we've seen the Congress bring the golden biryani pots while staging a symbolic protest, and it's fine till that, but invading in someone's private space, and that too in an inebriated state, certainly uncalled for, and strictly action must come. And any responses from the Congress?
Well, at this point of time, the Congress has been trying to put the government on the mat, the left government and Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan on the mat. There have been protests taking place on ground, and we'll be bringing the latest protests where even water cannons were used over there. And this is the kind of environment that exists on ground in Kerala. If they were inebriated, certainly, of course, that is not acceptable. But the point is that even though they were, if they were in fact acting in an unruly manner, Mr. Jayarajan could have very well complained to the air hostess, to the staff on board that aircraft, and they could have then taken appropriate action to deboard these individuals. He should not in any case have engaged in a physical manner with these individuals unless there was any kind of dire threat to him or his personal safety. That certainly, of course, is something that we will only know once the entire sequence of events is established by the authorities. In fact, we can tell you that all authorities, including those at the aircraft level, not just at the level of the airline, but also at the level of the regulators, are all looking at this issue. They're trying to ascertain what has transpired, and they will in fact try and establish what is the real sequence of events that took place. Because one aspect is that it's an allegation that these protesters were inebriated. Now, can that allegation be substantiated? These protesters, we are also told, were later deboarded and even arrested.
Absolutely.
So will the police
and
be able to establish
questions will be
the fact
asked, because
that
these are youth Congress workers, whether or not action will come